And it is live. Hello,
Oh my
everyone.
god.
We are open to everyone now.
Yay.
Yay.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
So if you guys, I don't know if anybody wants to go through and like say your name or what your channel name is and all that. I figured we could do that. If you would
No,
like.
of course not. That's a horrible idea to start off. No. Okay. Okay. I think I'm going to start now. Yeah, my name is Michael. My channel name is Bitten by a Radioactive Book, and I mainly talk about science fiction, fantasy, and steampunk, more adult-based, or yeah, not so much YA. Occasionally, but not that often.
Very nice.
Should I go next?
Go for it.
Okay. I'm Caitlin. My channel name is Kitty G, and I also talk mostly about fantasy with a dash of steampunk and sci-fi thrown in every now and then.
Casey, it's you.
Me? Okay. Yeah. My name is Casey, and I'm from the Book Angel, and I will talk about a range of books, mostly anything but contemporary.
Me. Totally feel you.
Yeah.
Let's go next.
I'll go. Whoa. I'm Elizabeth. My channel is Books and Pieces. I talk about science fiction, fantasy, classics, gothic, anything really. But yeah, lots of science fiction.
I'll go. Hi, I'm Bridget. I have a few books, and I just talk about lots and lots of books. Doesn't really matter what kind.
Very nice.
I'm sorry, what were we doing? Because I'm like,
Just saying who you are and your channel name. Hi, Becky.
Hey! How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Tired?
Yeah. That's right. It's early for you. You woke up early.
It's like 8 o'clock. I've been up since like 6:30. My cat doesn't even want any of it.
She's kind of still supposed to be asleep. What are you doing?
I know, she's still cuddling up with the teddies.
That's cute.
So adorable.
I miss
Oh,
her.
do you want me to go? Or I don't know.
Go for it.
Oh, I'm Becky from Bex and Books, and obviously I love books too, and thanks to Samantha I actually started my Booktube channel and was able to experience a lot more. Yeah.
Good. Awesome. And I see Amy's here.
Trying to be.
Yes, I'm having problems. I have to be on my phone because the Wi-Fi at the library is crap on my,
Oh no.
my computer, so trying to figure it all out. So
Got a little spotty Wi-Fi.
yes, fantastic. Yes. So.
Very nice. So how's everybody's weekend going? Sunday. Well, for most of us. I don't know, is it Monday for you now? Right?
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, in the future. It's not much interesting in the future, I can tell you that much, but we've got a very long weekend because for Australia, we celebrate the most weirdest, bizarre holidays, and we celebrate like football grand finals for us, and this weekend, this Tuesday is the Melbourne Cup, so we actually have a public holiday to watch horses race.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we don't celebrate Halloween, we don't celebrate like Thanksgiving or anything, but we celebrate horses and football.
That's great.
We have the right thing going. Like
That's
we dress
awesome.
up in all kinds of things and just do it, you know? Why not?
Mm.
Oh, and we celebrate Australia Day, of course, but you know. It's like
For a
letting
holiday.
all the bogans out of the closet and stuff and seeing who can be the biggest one. Let me tell you, there's a lot of Steve Irwin things going on, so.
That's awesome.
Yes.
It's not a holiday for us tomorrow in the States. I will very much be at work.
Well, I don't go back to work until Wednesday.
Yeah. That's so funny.
So what's everyone reading right now?
That's what I was about to say. You want to do current reading? Currently reading?
Oh my goodness. I have like 5 books going on that I'm reading.
That sounds about right. That's usually what I have, I swear.
I started all of them in the middle of October, and not one has been finished.
I unfortunately did try to finish as much as I could out of my like 5 or 6 books, and ended up with a migraine. So, but I finished them before October.
That's good.
Congrats.
Well, that's what happens when you don't wear your reading glasses.
Yeah. I know when I was on Halloween at work, not Halloween, yesterday on Friday when I had my Link costume, I couldn't wear my glasses because it was the hat when I'm not work with it. So like by the end of the day, my eyes hurt so bad and I had such a headache. It's awful.
I noticed something was different about you. No.
Glasses.
Wondering what it was. I was like, maybe it's just the hair being straight, but
Yeah.
I can't see anything without these.
what everyone else reading?
I am reading The Innocent Mage. Which I'm rereading, and then Sharp Objects, which I still haven't picked up in like a week and a half because I didn't like the first 30 pages, and I really need to finish it.
That's not a
You
good
didn't
sign.
read any of it this weekend yet?
What was that?
You didn't read any of it yet this weekend?
No, I have not. I haven't done much reading all this weekend, so I'm hoping to later tonight. But
I think Halloween's a good excuse for not reading.
it is. Agreed.
What's my excuse then?
I'm
just
slowly
lazy.
jumping through the ocean at the end of the lane.
That was a good
Ooh.
one. I like that one.
Well, our library book sale, I kind of just grabbed like, I don't know, 16-ish books for $1 a piece. So I was like, yeah, I hear so many people raving about this one. Let's grab this one. Here's a J.K. Rowling. Ooh, there's a good couple books for my favorite authors. And then I went looking for Robin Hobb and only found one.
Oh no. Poor Robin Hobb.
I had like 4 or 5 other different groups of people helping me look for them too.
That's awesome.
Sam, it's all your fault.
I know. I'm just like converting everybody like it must be Robin Hobb.
I second that. I think that is a good thing to be doing.
It is a good thing to be doing. You won't regret it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading more.
I've only gone through one. I haven't picked up the next one yet. But, yeah.
We got these two.
Woo!
Apparently.
I approve.
Yes, Elizabeth.
I went to there's a shop that gives away books for free down the road with me. Yeah, and they were in there, so I figured, well, you lot are all hassling me to read more Robin Hobb. Hassling me in a very passive way, but you know. I've read the original, whatever they're called, Farseer trilogy.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
So I think there's another trilogy before this one, even.
Before which one?
This is
Ships
the
is the
live
second
ship
one.
ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Live Ships is second, so you can
Yeah.
read that
Oh,
next
okay.
if you've read Farseer. You'll be alright. Yeah, that's my favourite series by her. So.
Okay. After these, which are my TBR shafts, slightly.
Just a few.
Yeah.
Wait, that's
well,
the article?
Those two, and those two. So.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
I feel you.
Variety.
I think, yeah, FantasyCon was a bad choice for me because I came home with like so many free books from FantasyCon, so I now have about 30 just in one day. I've got like 400, 500 books at the moment. I know that Michael's got way more than that though on yours.
Yeah, I think I'm at 1,700 at the moment in my TBR abyss. Yeah.
In the house? Or just...
Yeah, I think that I'm the good example for what happens when you start at about 16 and buy like 100 books a year and you just don't stop. and at the age of 38, you end up with the 1,700 TBR abyss. But I don't mind. It's always like, oh, what do I want to read next? And then that process can just be a whole adventure of its own. So,
yeah.
No loss. And hi, Thomas. Thomas joined us.
Hi, yes. I finally got my computer situation worked out, seems like.
I think everyone had that.
Yeah, like, oh, thank you for springing that on us.
Praise the perfect time.
Hopefully there won't be another one tomorrow and another one the day after that. Glad I didn't do it last night while I was in the middle of editing. That would have made me grumpy, but otherwise.
Yes, editing can be intense sometimes.
Anyway, but hi everyone.
Hello,
For everybody I haven't met, I'm Thomas. Hi.
Hi. What are you reading, Thomas, at the moment?
Let's see. At the moment, I am getting ready to do a big marathon on the entire Expanse series, and I'm going to be starting, I think, Luna New Moon this week, and also hopefully Updraft. So.
Oh, cool. I need to read the second one in that series, the Expanse series, so I might join you for that.
Yeah, might be a good idea. Well, I want to get all 5 knocked out, before the TV show. It's just...
Yeah, I might join you for that. That sounds like a good plan.
That's when all the spoilers come about.
Mm.
Sounds like a buddy read coming up.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're getting a buddy read plan today.
Buddy reads are coming out of my ears. I love buddy reads.
Buddy reads are awesome. That's right, and we're starting Fool's Fate, or not Fool's Fate, Fool's Assassin soon, aren't we, this next week?
Yeah, exciting. Robin Hobb.
Oh, yes.
That's the sparkly one, isn't it? The one you showed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the cover is so pretty, it's like all shiny.
Have you show it up on your screen? I'm like touching my screen, like, ooh. What are you doing, baby?
That's awesome. Oh, it looks like we have a question. So, what's everyone's favorite book so far this year?
That's so hard. Well, let's see. My favorite book I've read this year. I didn't reread my favorite book yet, so there's still room for that.
Yes, sure. There's still a couple months left of this year.
2.
I'm holding out for it at the moment because I'm just reading The Dreadworm, the 3rd book in Miles Cameron's Crater Sun cycle, and I really loved the first 2. So the first book, The Red Knight, was my favorite book in 2013. The Fell Sword, the second one, was my second favorite book last year. So I have high hopes for The Dreadworm, but at the moment I would say my favorite book this year so far would be The Ace of Skulls by Chris Wooding. This is the 4th and final book in his, what is it called? The Tales of the Catty Jade series. And it's a steampunkish fantasy series with great characters. We have a great crew on a skyship, pirates. They have great banter with each other over the course of the series. Lots of interesting developments, very character deep, and a fun series to read. And I think that the conclusion was really, really satisfying, and that might be my favorite book of the year so far.
Very cool. That sounds interesting.
It's a good series. I think mine is definitely Fool's Fate by Robin Hobb.
That's definitely mine too.
Yeah. Second to that, I couldn't choose because I've read so many good authors this year. Like, I've discovered so many good people. So.
I read The Final Empire this year. It was fantastic.
Let's see, mine's gonna have to be a toss-up between Assassin's Apprentice and Safe Haven.
Very nice.
And
I
Full
approve
Metal
of Robin
Alchemist.
Hobb's choice.
Well, it's a toss-up between 3 of them. There's Full Metal Alchemist. I'm trying to read, well, hopefully eventually going to read the whole entire manga series for that. Safe Haven I just finished last week or a week before, something like that. And then Assassin's Apprentice for Robin Hobb.
Very nice.
Mine's an Australian one. Mine is actually, it's very rare that you get an Australian author, especially a debut one, that will really be your favorite. And this one is freaky real in a way because she's an ex-cop paramedic as well, and she's seen this situation that sort of brings to light the children predators on the internet and what to watch out for and stuff like that. But it's a young adult fiction.
Oh, very
But
nice.
it's something that everyone should read.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, it's called Risk by Fleur Ferris.
Okay.
That's a really cool story.
Yeah, and it's like this girl that is like crazy and stuff, meets up with this guy off the internet, and she disappears. So it's really freaky as well, since you know the places in Melbourne where it's from, and you're kind of like, dude, that's like half an hour away where you find certain situations happening. So I'm like looking out the window thinking, is he here? I'm just kidding. So,
That's really interesting.
yes, definitely.
These are from an Australian press that I loved this year, just for, you know, Australian interest.
Thank you.
They're both from 12th Planet Press, who's one of my favourite like small press publishers. This one's really excellent. It's a collection of diverse YA short stories, and they're really amazing. A couple of them have won different awards. They've won loads of the Australian Speculative Fiction Awards, which I can't remember the name of.
Borealis?
Yes.
You guys know more about Australia than I do.
It's because I listen to Galactic Suburbia podcast, which is an all Australian publisher, author, reviewer. Sort of.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I think.
Someone's feeding back a bit.
Yeah, I was noticing the echo.
Anybody without headphones on, stick headphones in.
That's probably me.
Or just, yeah, or the external speakers on your PC, just either
Let
lower
me
them.
put my headphones for somewhere.
When I gotta put my headphones in.
If I can take them out. Okay. What? And the heck are you connected to? Okay. I'm working on it.
See if I can.
Buried in my purse. I usually listen to music at school on one of my phones that I have, and it's buried in my purse with that. Let's see.
Please, still echoing? Yeah.
Probably.
Slightly. Yeah.
Hold on. Find a source of light. I can't see.
Are we still echoing?
Yeah.
A little bit of feedback, yeah.
I think it's because I'm from the future. I'm taking your echoing back.
Okay, put it in the mic, not the. Try that hole. There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
That seems better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at me.
Yeah, that really helped.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Whoever did whatever they did. That really...
Good job. So my favorite book this year, probably either Ready Player One or A Thousand Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. I haven't read a whole lot of like fantastic stuff that has just blown me away. So yeah.
I feel like I feel like my favorite book this year would probably be The Two Towers or Runin Rising. Those were really good books.
Two Towers is good.
Yeah.
Love me some Tolkien.
Well, I'm the closest to like Hobbit Town, so woo.
That's
For
true.
what Australia wins, I'm like probably 3 hours away, so by plane, of course, not by Gandalf driving. So
You can do that challenge people are doing where you have to like walk to the mountains of Moria in I can't remember how many. It's like a step tracker, and somebody's calculated how many steps it is from like wherever the hobbits live to wherever they have to go to drop the ring in the mountain. and then back again, and you have to count your steps and see how long it takes you, and you can walk with people.
That was kind of
track
awesome.
it across the map.
That's a cool idea.
That is a cool idea.
Yeah.
As long as I wouldn't have to run, that would be fine.
Steps.
Let's make this clear. It'll be walking, not running.
You know, that was a piece of advice that David Eddings used to give to people who wanted to write fantasy. It's like, okay, you have a bunch of people on a quest. Exactly how far can they go in a day? Start at 8 in the morning, end at 8 at night. See how far you walk.
Mm-hmm.
That's how far your little team has gotten.
That's amazing.
These are a little bit of the personal levels of research that you can do, in order to make sure that everything is at least as realistic within the rules of your fantasy world as you can make it. So.
Yeah, and stop for lunch and arguing with each other and horses losing shoes
Exactly.
and stop running away.
All at break. Somebody falls in the river, something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little bickering and random orc encounters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Find a Walmart, kind of stop by the Walmart to have a random orc encounter. And
You should add all that in there if you actually do walk and then you do encounter people on the way. You can create them as a character.
Yeah, that book really writes itself.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I think that's an idea for Tumblr, Orcs of Walmart.
I don't even know what Walmart is. We don't have Walmart, so I can't do it.
Just look at Walmart.com and then you'll have an idea.
Well,
Giant supermarket.
I've watched like the South Park episode where they had the evil Walmart. So to me, Walmart is evil.
It is.
There you go. You're fine. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. We don't have too many by me, but Target is like the big thing.
We have
I have
Target.
like 3 in the span of like 10 miles.
Yeah.
I don't consider any of them. Don't like Walmart.
Well, it's pretty bad when you have a Walmart, a Kroger, a Meijer, all in the same city.
Yeah.
But you guys have Maya?
Yeah, we got Meijer out here. I like Meijer. It's pretty decent.
I don't think we have a
no
Meijer in
idea.
Oregon.
I've never heard of it.
You never?
Mm-mm.
It's a fancy shop
Oh.
that you regretted going with your mother because she wanted to always look at the bloody makeup. Over and over again, and I just wanted the books, and there was no books really in there, so...
That's awesome.
Well, we have a Meijer, and they've completely reorganized the whole entire store, redone the front of the store. I'm like, would you guys just knock it off? I know you guys want to do similarity things. And it's just like, stop. That's okay. We're getting new libraries, too, which I'm kind of excited about.
That's always exciting. Our town is finally building a new one because the one we had was super tiny and
Same here.
very good, and they're just broke ground like last month. I think it's going to be done next summer, so.
That's exciting.
Well, it sounds like we're in the same boat there, Sam, because that's basically ours.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward.
We should totally take pictures and send it to each other. That'd be kind of
Should.
Alright, so just have these like really awkward like guys just stop in front of the study room that I'm in, like, and stare at me and like, what are you doing?
Like, keep on walking.
Just keep on going.
Throw something at them.
There's live entertainment happening here.
Okay, let's do a fun question. What's your favorite book of all time?
Oh.
gosh.
That is hard.
That is like choosing your favorite child or your favorite cat. No.
Here's a litter.
Elizabeth knows.
Here's your favorite kitten out of the litter.
Oh my god, my cat's giving me evil looks right now. She literally did.
Favorite book of all time is so hard.
Robin Hood.
I don't know if I could.
It would probably be Tolkien.
That's what I was gonna say. It's probably Tolkien for her.
See, I don't like Tolkien, so mine would be Robin Hobb.
I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could pick a favorite book of all time, but I think it might be more accurate to say that I could look at books that were very important to me in my whole development as a reader when I was growing up. So, yeah, I mean, I was sort of in that Tolkien wave at I think at about the right age. It was like junior high school. And so that really had an impact on me, at that time, just reading like The Hobbit, then followed by the trilogy. And then, of course, Watership Down, Richard Adams.
I love Watership Down.
Massive.
That scared me so much as a child.
I watched the cartoon, it was horrible.
It was horrific.
I was terrified. Cartoon. I did not know that was a thing.
Oh my god, don't watch it as a child. Watch it as an adult, it's fine, but as a child, it was not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The movie. Yeah, they just came out on Blu-ray, so it's you can experience all of the trauma and.
I'm all right.
Yeah.
I don't need to read that.
And then, oh God, the Plague Dogs was even more traumatic. Yeah. So I think that I can think back, when I was young and remember the books that were really special and that got me reading more. Yeah, this is going to be my hobby right here.
Okay, let's see here. Let's change that then. What's the book that got you started in reading?
That got you started in reading?
Well, what you mean? How far back are we going? You're talking
What about the cat has impacted you the most?
Hat or what? I mean, Hop on Pop.
This was in my day.
What about the book that impacted you the most? Sorry, I forgot your name. But I've spoken before. I'm so bad with names. How you talk about something that's impacted you and stayed with you throughout, any struggles that you were dealing with growing up or whatever age. And, yeah, that would be probably more so. Yeah, maybe, an easier question.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe let's go in that. If you've had any struggles in your life, what book helped you through those struggles and impacted the most on you?
I don't know if a book has really helped me through any struggles. I think music is what I listen to at that sort of time. But I don't tend to turn to books for that. So, yeah.
I don't know if I could pick a book that had helped me through a specific struggle, but I found a lot of wisdom in the Discworld books by Terry Pratchett, mostly in tiny pieces of how you treat other people. There's this thing about how if you see somebody trying to open a jar or turn a screw or do something, and you cannot help but just assume that you could bloody do it if they just stop faffing around, even though you have no better knowledge of how to turn that screw than they do. And that stuck with me a long time, and it helps in a lot of social situations.
I think for me it's probably The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Because I read those when I was 11, 12, I think. And those definitely, whenever I get nervous, I'd be like, oh, I can be brave like Frodo.
Even the tiniest person can have a...
Exactly.
Can be the strongest and the bravest, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say, Harry Potter in certain ways, because...
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I started it when it first came out and over the years, and seeing it first come up on the films and stuff like that, I literally was in tears. I think I was about 10 or something when I first watched it in the drive-in. Mm-hmm. And, that magical piece of Dumbledore appearing, and you're like, oh my goodness, and the cat, you're like, that is Professor McGonagall, it has to be. And just those books as well helped me when I was dealing with some trouble growing up, because I got lost in that world. But then when I got older and started dealing with a new type of issue, it was definitely Lord of the Rings. So you've got your two levels there in different age groups that has definitely, like Sam said, helped you become stronger and get lost in another world for once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then never forget the most important lesson of Harry Potter, which comes from Neville. I mean, when you grow up, you're going to be a lot better looking. So it gets better when you're in a...
puberty.
It gets better, yeah.
Puberty hit him hard. I'm like, it's so funny that you're the one that pointed that out. I love it. Let's high five that.
Well, no, I think that's something that a lot of awkward guys can kind of look at and go, oh, all right, fine, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
There's hope.
There's a hope.
But we forget that guys too need some inspiration throughout their childhood too, because they too deal with that kind of situation that girls normally deal with in being not confident enough, and to see someone like Neville Longbottom grow up to be just as brave, if not, more. So it is good to have something like that.
It is.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and the older you get, the more books you actually have that give something to you. So to pick just one book, I think I can always pick like a book of the decade. So for me, in the 80s, it would definitely be like Dragonlance, because this was the first fantasy book I've read, or the first trilogy of books I've read, and that made me from an occasional reader into like a regular reader. So I have to thank Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman actually for that, and opening the whole of fantasy for me. And then in the 90s, I've read more like Michael Moorcock, The Eternal Champion, because these were always like the characters were very flawed, and that brought me from the reading of the good guys are the knights in shining armor and the bad guy is the wizard, to more like gray characters, and that helped me in that development at the time by learning how to be a young adult at that age. And then in the last or in the first decade of the new millennium, it would be George R. R. Martin's books. Actually, I discovered them quite early on, and these were then very deep characters. This was another dimension of writing that I've never experienced before. And in this decade now, it would be Stephen Erickson and the Malazan Book of the Fallen, because he even upped George R. R. Martin for me personally in complexity and kind of themes that I like and want to discover. And so I can say roughly every 10 years that most influential author changes for me a bit.
Making me remember stuff that I don't remember. Thanks. No,
That's good to know that that's what's going to happen with us with the decade thing and the certain books and stuff. So, it's good.
Definitely.
Yeah, Harry Potter is definitely like the books that I continue to go back to over the years, and they're the books that kept me reading even in the midst of high school and college, and just they were my friends when I didn't have any friends, and and then a book that really helped me see that I'm not alone in my thinking was a Donald Miller book, and he just struggles with life, and I'm like, oh, I'm not the only one that struggles in life, and so yeah.
I'll be your friend.
Yeah, I think Harry Potter really helped a lot of people. I mean, just that certain age group when they came out in particular, because I know I think they started coming out when I was 11, and I started reading them when I was about 12, and that whole time period was like just rereading all of the books that were out over and over again.
Oh, God, I remember doing that.
On the Harry Potter note, who's excited for the illustrated editions that are coming out now?
Yeah.
I want the new one so bad.
Should I bring mine out and read it to you guys? Or?
Close it up.
I'll be back. I'll go grab it. And they've come out with a $300 edition as well now, and I'm like, tax money is for bills. Tax money is for bills. No, it's gonna happen.
Does it come with a live Skype chat with the actors or something?
No, that's the $1,500 version.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
1 sec, I'll get it.
I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was certainly a little bit outside of the target audience range when the first Harry Potter came out, but I read them all because everybody's reading them as making a big fuss. and so I wanted to kind of be up with it all. And of course, and I really immediately liked them. I mean, I was really impressed with the way that J.K. Rowling wasn't writing down to her audience.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think that was a relatively fresh approach that the young readers really appreciated at the time. But I don't know, I remember sort of enjoying the first few books, and even though there was this air of whimsy to the whole thing, I just can remember thinking to myself, Jesus, the Dursleys have Harry actually living in a closet. Like, they shoved him in a closet under the stairs.
Yeah.
And, like, this is serious child abuse. And I just began to remember, just thinking of the way in which, like, really, really dark real-life stuff was just, happening very, just right under the surface. So he's kind of sneaking it in. And just thinking how what kind of impact, who was she reaching? How many kids out there were really experiencing stuff very much like this, and finding something to identify with in the Harry Potter books, but they couldn't talk. You can't say it, right? Then it was your life will all just get worse. But you realize somebody out there kind of knows what I'm going through.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't exactly locked under the stairs, but I definitely had a tougher childhood where, I mean, like, they didn't show you the years when he was a baby and he was crying and he wanted his nappy changed. Like, did she use, like, secondhand nappies and pinch him when he was crying? These sorts of things really, like, get to me. But because people actually, you don't know those years, but that's probably one of the things that reached out to me the most, was that even, like, family can treat you a certain way and you can still make something of yourself. And be strong because of it, and still use your imagination like he did. And it really touches your heart, and it's good that you pointed something like that out, because a lot of people don't. And I look forward to passing the torch on to, like, any children if I ever have them, or my cat if she wants to listen to me. But at the moment, it's my 10-year-old brother. There is a huge difference between us, but I always have him sleep over and stuff. And that's why the illustration editions are so amazing, because he loves the movies, and we, like, watch the movies together, and then we'll, like, say the whole Harry Potter quotes together, and, like, we take anything that my mum says and then turn it into this Harry Potter thing. She goes, oh, now we've got 2 of them. Great. We've done our waiting 12 years. Just kidding. But, like, you can just, like, read this with them, whether it's your niece, nephew, or anything like that. You can pass that torch on, and that's what's so amazing about these books, is that you can do that, especially with the illustration editions, because, it teaches them a lot. Well, like, the new generation needs to be taught a lot.
Yeah.
This is the pretty.
I have a friend of mine at college right now. She's borrowing one of my books. I only have one. I've got With the Fire, and she's borrowing it right now. She's been reading them for, I don't know how, I think the whole semester so far. She's been enjoying them so far, from what I can tell. I don't know if this is her first time reading them, or if she's rereading them, or what. I can't remember what she said. I've read a couple of them, but I never, like, sat down and read them from the first one all the way to the last one.
Yeah.
So, I don't know why.
Yeah, I just started reading them with my little brother a while ago, which was super cute. So he's now getting into it. He hasn't seen any of the films, though, so he's going for the books first. He's only 8. So, and he's
That's a good way of doing it. That's a good way of doing it. Keep the movies away and let them read the books first. And then
a book and then a film and then a book and then a film. That's always fun.
Yeah,
I think that's
a good idea.
We'll probably end up doing. But he's got, like, all 4 of my first books, and I want to reread them at Christmas. So I'm like, could you just hurry up with that? I'd like them back. Like, I know you're 8 and your reading age isn't quite as fast as mine, but I really need them back.
It's just one.
Read them just a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Hey, does it?
Sorry, go.
This is totally random, but somebody said they can't comment on the YouTube page. Does anybody know how to fix that?
Isn't there, like, a little live chat window there?
That's what I thought, but I can't find it. I mean, I'm in it, but I can't find the setting.
Like on the actual YouTube page, or like in the Q&A part?
Like in the actual YouTube page.
that might be a Google account issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have got 2 questions on the,
Oh, okay.
the
On the
Q&A thing, so I'm not sure. We've
Weird.
got like question on the Q&A. It says which book would make a great movie and which would make a great TV show.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
Ooh,
That's a hard one.
I think the Soulless books by Gail Carriger, the Parasol Protectorate, that would be like a great TV show. I think TV at the moment goes for period pieces. It would have the right amount of supernatural creatures with that period piece kind of setting, and I think that would work out as a TV show. I'm quite surprised that it hasn't been adapted yet or hasn't been optioned yet, because a lot of actual SFF books at the moment get at least optioned, or the rights are changing hands, and so I'm quite surprised that this is not up. But that would be a great TV show, I think.
I've just been reading The Traitor Barry Cormorant. I'm like halfway through, and I was just I know, laugh because I know what's coming in some time.
I just started that yesterday, so I'm 4 chapters in or something.
Oh god, it's so ominous. But I was thinking actually it would make an amazing. It's like, you know, it's as twisty and turny and corrupt as like Game of Thrones, but like way more diverse and less rapey. So
I'm gonna have to read that at some point. I need to get that.
So far, it is excellent.
I think I don't know, that one might have, if we're talking about adaptations, that might have like mini-series possibilities.
Yeah, because it's not too crazy.
No. You know, Hollywood keeps trying to get a remake of Dune off the ground, and they keep failing. Directors keep, you know, coming into the project and leaving and all this kind of thing. And my thinking is that why are they not, you know, seeing this and going, this is our next Game of Thrones if we do it right. They should. There's something like, what, 20 Dune novels, and I mean, sure, a lot of them are these prequels that kind of suck. But the point is that you could, the material is there for something that's ongoing, and I think that you want to, it's ripe for, you know, to be like the next big epic series if they were to pursue it that way. But for some reason, I think they still want to do something theatrical with it, and I think that's just the wrong choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like books are successful for a reason, and it's like, follow the book.
Well, the
You could let Guillermo del Toro do it, and it would be like robot snakes versus humans. That would be great.
I think you got a story there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the live of the actual page here on YouTube. It says what I'm seeing is chat is disabled for this live stream and comments are disabled for this video. Maybe that's
weird. I'm trying to figure out how to fix it, but I can't.
Go in your YouTube you go in through YouTube and look at your videos and check out the settings for it.
It says that the comments is enabled, so that's why I'm confused.
Strange.
Weird.
I don't know how people are asking the questions then. Just an extra
Must be
Q&A bit.
Through Google Plus.
Yeah.
Oh, right, on the G Plus page.
There's a couple of questions here. I think we pretty much almost answered all of them. Which one do you want to be, a movie or TV show? Did everybody get a chance to?
I was gonna say I would like to see more of Jodi Picoult's books come into more movies. I know she has a few, but I would like some more of hers to come into movies. I really like her. She's got a good.
This would make a good movie. Lagoon by Nettie Accord.
Oh my gosh, the amount of post-it notes you've got in there.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
was it a good one?
Yeah,
Wow.
It would certainly, yeah. There's a lot of visual potential there.
So would it make a better TV show rather than movie if there's a lot more to it?
No, I think the story itself is short enough that it would be more a movie. You could turn it into a TV show, but I think it's condensed enough that it would make a good movie.
Yeah, I think that's a particular story is one that would work well if it got distilled down into something like 2 hours.
Yeah, like you could take it down to the essence because it's very simple.
Yeah, and then just let the pacing, deal with it from there. I think that would.
It could get really surreal because it does, but.
Darker Shade of Magic. I feel like that would be a good movie.
Yeah, that would be a really good movie.
I haven't read that yet.
Yeah, I need to.
There's so many books I need to read.
I read most of that, Sam. I feel that way too. I'm not an avid booktuber, but watching so many booktube videos that I do, it's like, okay, you make this one sound interesting, this one. I'm like, I don't have any time to read it. These all sound amazing. What the? Yeah.
I'm surprised no one's mentioned Robin Hobb.
No, they're too complicated.
It would be hard.
I think the live ship books could work as a TV show, but I don't know about Fitz. I think that would be a very drawn out, hard story to do well as a TV show. But I do think the live ship books, because they're sort of self-contained, that would be alright. So.
But then someone would try to drag every single one of the books in and ruin it. That's what people do.
That's always just the fear.
Yeah.
I would love to see Scott Lynch's stuff get made into a show, which I thought it was rumored that some of his stuff was optioned to be made into.
I know the
probably has been. It wouldn't surprise me if it's at least been optioned. Options happen all the time. Yeah.
The King Killer books are going to be made into it, aren't they? The Patrick Rothfuss.
And a video
That's just
game.
been confirmed. So.
And I'm asking myself, will there be a whole season where Quoth is just in the woods and does nothing?
Yes. Yeah. 7 episodes of wandering through the woods and then.
Yeah.
Then they stumble upon Walmart.
Look, today we have other trees he wanders by.
Yeah, well, they managed to do the frickin' Lord of the Rings, which is like, oh my god, they walk. Oh,
Well, they did that.
Oh my god, they walk
cutting out all the walking stuff.
You can make anything interesting.
90% of the walking in the first book got, shaved out of the films. So.
Not if you have the 4 freaking hour version, which I do. You see all the walking. But wait, they stop. They turn around. There's Gollum. What are you doing? Keep walking.
And then the Hobbit movies is like, there wasn't enough walking. Let's add more.
Oh my god. And I just reread The Hobbit too, so now I'm even more annoyed at the movies than I was before.
I was so excited when the movie was announced because I was like, yay, I go and see it. My dad read me The Hobbit when I was a little kid, and I was like, we're going to see it. And then it was like, oh, it's going to be 2 movies. And I was like, oh, I guess we'll go and see it. Oh, it's going to be 3 movies. Fuck that.
Yeah, literally took 5 pages. I made it into a 2-hour movie for the last one. It's like that was 5 pages of the book.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that. I was looking at the size of the book, and then I was looking at the 3 movies, and I'm like, how in God's name does that happen?
Yeah.
If you're like a massive Tolkien, lore geek, they just slipped a lot of that stuff in there. That was interstitial, and then some of the early backstory. Like if you read all the Tolkien appendixes and about all the battles that happened 600 years ago that led to this moment. And and Peter Jackson likes his battle scenes fine, but it was interesting to just see how he sort of slipped into George Lucas disease, where it eventually became, well, hey, we can do all this digital stuff, so let's just do more and more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and if you kind of compare the actual dramatic tension in the Two Towers film at the Battle of Helm's Deep sequence, where that was a really, really intense battle, versus the Battle of the Five Armies, where it just went on and on, but there wasn't really the emotional engagement as a viewer to what was happening on screen. You were just watching, a bunch of armies clunking on each other.
What about?
But there wasn't an investment. I just didn't feel like.
They could have done so much more.
Yeah.
What about the other way around?
They could have done less and but more to.
No, they could have done more with the book stuff, from the beginning and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than just taking that 5 pages and go, oh yeah, this is going to be a movie.
Well, I understand there's a fan edit of the films now.
Oh really?
Yeah. So we can make one decent movie.
Someone has taken all 3 movies and cut them down to a single 4-hour movie, and I would be interested in seeing that. Yeah.
What
So
about
in this case,
books
basically,
you hope
to get a
are never
requel.
made into movies or
I'm
TV
sorry?
shows?
Which one, Elizabeth? What?
I was
Books
gonna say,
you never
what
hope are
book,
made.
yeah, you hope never gets optioned, or books that you
Oh,
think could never be made.
just never do this. Yeah.
Please never ruin this.
Most of them.
The ones that have already happened, no.
Yeah.
No, like,
That's what I,
that's
you know,
a hard
I don't get a lot of YA material in the mail. I'm starting to get more, but I see that among YA fantasy and science fiction, much more so than in adult, it's like, I don't know if this is, you know, the editorial pressure or the publishers are just looking for this, but I'm seeing more and more books that seem to be written by people who are like, boy, I hope this becomes the next big movie franchise that I'm writing here.
for the
Yeah.
wrong reason.
Yeah,
Mhm.
very, you know, it's all,
Yeah.
it's so much more, it seems to be so much more motivated, you know, by the commercial aspect right now, what's going on in a lot of YouTube, not YouTube, a lot
All
of,
fan fiction.
yeah. And
Fan
so-
fictions have become so out there, right? Like, so
Yeah.
ridiculously out there. And they're actually getting published and they're taking the top spots and stuff. And you're sort of like, well, what about these, you know, other lesser known novelists that
Who actually wrote
deserve
their
to be on top?
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they get made into movies. Flash
gives?
porn.
Yeah.
What gives?
Yeah, and one of the interesting things is that now a lot of books, or at least more than before, come out and they actually advertise with, oh, this already got optioned
Yes.
for a movie,
Yes.
or this is
Yeah.
going to be a
Yeah.
movie next year. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the way it should work.
I just got one like that last week. I'm going to find it. It's probably right around here somewhere.
But it's like, they're not even their characters that they were playing with. They just, like with the fan fictions and stuff, they're taking other people's characters and twisting them
Yeah.
in such a bizarre way. And some of the writing hasn't even been edited. It's just, bam, it's too easy now to publish certain work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just get the Amazon publishing thing. I'm surprised that there hasn't been a whole lot more of that there haven't been, you know, legal cases and things like that where
They bring them out all the time, but the Organisation for Transformative Works fights the case of fanfiction, which, you know, is a very good thing because fanfiction is an excellent thing to exist. Just depends what happens with it. But most fanfiction authors would say that they don't want their works to be published for money. That's not the purpose of it.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Which makes
For you to
sense
give,
though,
like,
when you think about it. Fan fiction is just there for like the fans to say, okay, well here's this story, or this is the original, and here's my opinion on what happened.
Yeah. Like their spin of events.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm sure that they're like within the fanfic community that they're probably, you know, the bulk of the fanfic community throws a lot of side eye at some people who in
Some
it.
people.
Yeah, certain actors within fanfiction who just you know, kind of violate the unwritten rule of no, man, that's not how you're supposed to do this.
No.
Yeah.
I think we've got another question on the chat as well. Yeah.
We've got a few that we haven't answered, like the one right at the bottom here, by Common Touch of Fantasy. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul.
It's been there for quite a while.
Hello, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
He says, if you're sitting down for a long reading session, 2+ hours, what is something you must do to get yourself into the mindset of reading?
Turn off my devices because I will check social media incessantly.
Turn off Voxer. Voxer
Yeah.
needs to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, get rid of that. I like to have a drink. Like,
Yeah.
I need a drink,
Yeah.
I need some sweets, some snacks.
I like coffee or tea to set
Yeah,
me
arrange everything so you don't have to get up.
Mhm.
Make sure you pee first.
Comfy pants,
Yeah.
comfy clothes. We've got like breezy clothes.
Yeah, I'm not one to sit and read for long periods of time. Like, I'm usually just doing stuff. Like, I'll sit and read while I'm waiting for a class at school or something like that. Because that's all the time I have anymore to read. Most of the time I'm sitting here drawing.
I listen to
but
audiobooks whilst I draw, so
Yeah.
I'm always listening whilst I'm doing art stuff. So I'm always reading like that, which I
That's
guess I don't prepare quite as much for.
I used to have
I
a
have to
special
draw.
reading chair that was
Oh.
just for reading.
That
I
sounds
have
good.
to draw for my degree. I changed degrees. Now I'm doing visual communication, so I have to draw. I'm taking a drawing class this semester and all that kind of stuff. So that's like, and then I'm
I
trying
do
audiobooks.
graphic design, so that's drawing as well.
And I've tried an audiobook and stuff, and I kind of like it. It's just hit or miss with the narrators.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, the audiobooks are all about the narrators.
Yeah.
definitely.
Here's the thing about it, is like a good narrator can make a mediocre book seem better than it is, and a
Yes,
lousy
maybe right.
can ruin a really good book.
I agree.
Yeah.
I really think they need to have two different types of narrators, especially a male or a female, to really get into the story, because there's just certain scenes where you just want a male and a female rather than a female trying to do a male or a male trying to do a female.
Yeah.
And one particular one that I'm currently listening to Dragonfly and Amber on audiobook by Diana Gabaldon, and I mean that's interesting enough, but I can't get past the narrator because she's older. So when she kind of like speaks through Claire Randall's mouth, basically, she makes her sound older than what she should be. And I mean, as much as I love her, I just like this narrator. It gets me. It makes me cringe, and I'm like, I don't picture her being that age level. Do you know what I mean?
But I don't think a narrator has to be like the character who is speaking. They just, like, a good narrator will fit all the characters and you won't notice them, really.
Okay, then here's another point too. The fact of the matter is, it depends on the book too. Some books are way too dense to listen to an audiobook. Well, this is my opinion, but some books are way too dense to listen to an audiobook, or because I have a hard time reading sometimes. Understanding and comprehension is hard for me. So some books are just like, I tried listening to, I had a hard time listening to like the first half of Assassin's Apprentice because I was so confused on what was going on, considering it was my first audiobook, first fantasy book. I kind of set myself up for double trouble there. But once I got past the first half, I listened to the audiobook and it was okay. It's just too much detail at once sometimes doesn't help on an audiobook either. At least
I
that's
think
what I found.
very plot-driven stuff, like fast, action-y stuff, is really good for audiobooks because it's easier to keep the characters together in your head and stuff. But
Lord of the Rings is not a good thing to listen to. My husband read that to me, and he goes on for 20 pages on a tree, and you're like, you just lose it. And then he goes into something else. You're like, wait, he was just on a tree, and now we're walking again. What do we, And so Lord of the Rings.
John Scalzi did what you were talking about. Either Sam or Becky, I can't remember. But there, with Lock-In, there are two versions of the audiobook for Lock-In. One is narrated by Will Wheaton, and the other is narrated by Amber Benson. So you can get the audiobook version of that with either male or female narrator. And I thought that was kind of an interesting experiment. And I hear they're both really good readings. So.
To check that out. I was just listening to An Ember in the Ashes because it came in on overdrive and I was curious about it. And actually the narration was really good. And I think it's one of those books that I might not have liked as much if I was reading it, but I really, really like it in the audiobook form. And they have a guy doing the male character and a girl doing the female character, so it's kind of cool when you switch chapters. But yeah, it was just a really good audiobook. And then it expired and I still had half the book.
I think also the audiobooks of the Stormlight novel, the Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah.
Go back and depending on whether it's a Kaladin chapter or a Shallan chapter, it's either male or female narrator.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's like Wheel of Time. They're the same narrators for the Wheel of Time. So.
But I don't like audiobooks that want to be little plays or little
dramatization.
Full cast production. I want to burn everyone who did the Dune audiobook is so terrible. It's like every time one of the Harkonnens comes on, it's like they have this guy doing the worst cartoon villain voice. And I just want to burn them all, burn them with napalm. It's just...
The Percy chapter.
You really think?
Yeah.
Sorry.
The Percy Jackson Heroes of Olympus series audiobooks are great because that narrator has the best smart-ass voice in the world. It's really funny to listen to. So I was listening to those while I was working, and I kept laughing. Of course, like, what are you laughing at? I'm like, nothing.
That's the kind of narrator you would need for like the Harry Dresden novels, the Jim Butcher.
Yeah.
Well, they've got James Masters.
Yeah, apparently they're really good.
James Masters does a really good job there, I think.
Yeah. I thought the narration for this, I listened to this on audiobook, was excellent. God's War by Cameron Hurley. I have no idea who the narrator was, but she was amazing. She's got this proper, like, gravelly voice, which you don't expect in a female narrator, and it was excellent. It so fitted the world, which is, like, really nasty and vicious and, like, wartime, and it was fantastic. Like, and I'm so sad because the two sequels, they haven't done an audiobook version.
So sad.
Maybe they will eventually.
Maybe they will. I've read them now, but no, I've read the second one, but not the third one. But
they have the second and third on mine. We just linked it up. Sorry. It's the same narrator, I think. So.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe they've added them.
Maybe you should
they
check
didn't.
them out.
It was 6 months ago, to be fair, when I read them. So.
Now that she's getting a bit more popular, doing the other audiobooks.
Yeah.
That could be.
Yeah, I think it was definitely the UK releases of that trilogy that sort of saved Cameron's bacon there because he got caught up in the whole Nightshade Books implosion here. But then God's War came out in the UK, and I think what did it? I think it was the BSFA.
BSFA she won.
Yeah, and so that kind of gave that a second life, and I think really because she said that the Mirror Empire was rejected by something like 8 publishers, and then Angry Robot just said we'll take a chance on this, and so but that's so
yeah.
Should we answer another question?
Sure.
Who wants to do it?
I can keep
I don't know. I can't see any of the questions.
The question at the top has 2 points, if that counts for anything.
What's that?
Okay.
The Robin Hobb one.
Yeah.
What question would you ask Robin Hobb if you met her? Well, Sam's met her.
I have met her.
Sam's already met her.
What question did you ask her?
I asked her, the timeline was getting really confusing, so I asked her what the timeline was between each of the books, and she actually said I could email her for her timeline, which I have forgotten to do, but I will do it.
Hey, Sam, what you should do is email it and put it on Twitter or something so we can all get it.
Yeah, there we go. Except for she follows me on Twitter, so that might be a little awkward.
Or here's this idea. How about this? Ask her if you could do a video on it. Because some of us, like me, are confused on the timeline. So why don't you ask her if she'll email you the timeline and see if you can do a video on it as well.
I could do that.
I mean, I've got her on my Instagram and stuff like that. I haven't read one of her books yet, but I've heard, obviously, Samantha rave about it and everybody else. I mean, I do have the first one, so that's like something, right?
Yeah,
and I'm definitely going to be I'm actually considering starting it this month, though I didn't have it on my TBR, because everybody keeps talking about it, and you guys keep talking about it, and all the questions are like Robin Hobb, so I'm like... It's happening. I think the only, and then like the only thing I've really asked her on my Instagram was something about her plants or something because she's got like her farmland on her Instagram, so like she follows me on that, and I think that was all I asked her about was her farmland. But yeah, I don't know what I would ask her at this moment because I haven't read her books. But yeah.
She seemed very nice. I saw her interview at Worldcon last year in London. She did an interview with her agent, or no, publisher, editor, that's the word I was looking for, and chatted with her on stage for like an hour. It was really good.
Yeah, she's pretty down to earth. She was really nice. Like, even when I went up to get the signing, she was asking me where I found, because I have the UK editions. So she's like, oh, where'd you find these? I really like these ones.
Hear you. So. I love how they chose her name as well. It was just so, like, mercenary. It's like H is usually in a good place.
It's right at eye level.
Yeah, it's right. Right there in the midst of the section, right.
Alright. Well,
It's true though. I don't usually like go into a bookshop and then bend down and look at all the books on the bottom shelf. So it's a good choice.
It is.
Makes sense.
All those poor Z authors.
Yeah.
well,
I think it's why. I'm sorry, but there's an author named, a science fiction writer named Sarah Zattel, and then she started writing under the pen name C.J. Anderson.
Yeah.
and then like her book as C.J. Anderson got all the oh my god, this writer's amazing.
For sure, people don't get to see it because it's like right up top.
Aw, pretty kitty.
Kitty. Yeah, she wanted cuddles. She's a bit scared because I think someone's mowing their lawns outside, so she's a bit meh about it. She's running away. She's so crazy.
Well, thank you, Sam. I'm gonna probably get some more work done.
Well, good luck.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining.
I'm doing a toaster, yay me!
It'll be a super cool toaster.
I'm making a mountain theme.
There you
go.
go.
And so if you can't tell by my picture, I love mountains. So I'm like, okay, I'm making a mountain toaster. And one of the I told it to a different instructor that's not teaching the class. She's like, okay, yeah, we'll see about that because I can't picture it.
You're like, trust me, it'll be great.
Yeah, hopefully. So I'll just keep listening in. I'll probably pop in with questions.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining.
Well, thank you for letting me come, even though I'm not a booktuber.
No problem. Okay. Bye.
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 So next question. There was one at the bottom, and it's a Harry Potter question.
Oh yes.
What is your reaction to Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, parts 1 and 2 being the 8th Harry Potter story?
I'm excited, but I don't
am
know what's coming here.
I thought not a good idea.
I think it's only meant to be on
stage, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I thought they were putting it on her website. Now I can't even think of the name. I go blank every time.
Pottermore?
Pottermore. Thank you. I don't know why I didn't think of that one. But yeah, I think she's going to be publishing it on that one, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I mean, she can do no wrong, but I mean.
Oh yes, she can.
I think she can.
Yes. Hands up, everyone who DNF'd Casual Vacancy.
I
haven't tried it. I haven't picked
I haven't read it.
Yeah.
But I mean, she can do no wrong with her characters.
There you go. Yes.
There you go. With her Harry Potter characters, she can still give us a bit of something that we would want. But obviously, I'm excited. I'm excited to see more.
I'm more excited about the Fantastic Beasts film that they're bringing out. Like, I'm way more excited about that than I am about the actual, like, stage thing.
Agreed.
Because that seems like an exclusive little club, the stage thing, whereas the film is obviously going to be a film. So,
and they'll show the stage in cinemas, won't they?
They'll
must
have
do.
to. Because, sold out, like, in ridiculous small amount of time, so it's just no chance.
A live into movie theaters thing with the stage play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sold out like that.
Oh well. Sure, it'll come around at some point, and we'll see.
It'll be DVD eventually.
I probably won't get it at all. I have to bloody fly over the pond. Everyone thinks, let's go to Australia. It's like, let's go to Australia. Oh, it's like a 40,000-hour flight. Yeah, never mind about that.
I have seen the spiders in Australia. That's enough to scare me away.
For you have no idea. I have a dead huntsman in my window still. I could show you if you want.
That's okay.
But it was.
We're good. We're good.
It was between, like, I'm kidding you. It's no joke about our spiders. Like, they literally pop up everywhere. Like, seriously, I'll be in the shower and then one will pop up out of the drain or some shit.
Hell no.
I'm like,
there's no way I'm ever moving to
It's like around this spider and it's like a Terminator. It's like still like, not.
Oh god,
I swim. But this huntsman was huge. Like, I was like ready to open my window because we're in spring, and like we get like 4 seasons in one day here in Melbourne. And yeah, like literally 1 second it will be really cold in the morning, then it's really hot, then it will rain for 2 seconds, and then the sun will be shining, and it's like 40 degrees. But this spider was huge. The huntsmans aren't bad for you.
Nope.
But my roommate was like playing his like games and stuff, online games, and I'm like, oh my god, there's a huge spider, and he's like spraying it, and I'm like, you killed Aragog. Like, I named him and everything. Aragog.
It is not bad at the size. There was one, I was getting ready for bed the other night. I was like relaxed, you know, gonna go to sleep. There was one above my freaking bed, and I yelled, and it moved, and I'm like, oh, I cannot handle this. So I had to go and kill it because there was no way I was going to sleep at all. No.
Think of all the mosquitoes that didn't feed on you when you were sleeping, thanks to that spider. Where's your appreciation for the valuable service that bed spiders provide?
I don't like to talk about that.
You would have so much malaria right now if you didn't have that friendly bed spider protecting you.
It doesn't help. We do actually have 2 different poisonous spiders here, and there have been a few in our house, so I think I'll take the mosquitoes. I'll take malaria.
I'm sorry, did you just say like a few poisonous spiders?
Yeah, I won't compare.
That's nothing.
Isn't everything poisonous in Australia? Like, even duck-billed platypus, the most hilarious animal on earth, is poisonous.
I know, I only found that out myself. Okay, the most dangerous thing...
Poisonous in Australia.
How did you know? No. The funniest thing is, like, the one that will probably hurt you the most. Like, spiders are so lazy in Australia. They're so Australian. Like, they're just so lazy. They're like, meh, just leave me alone. The most dangerous things is you'll be driving, and between, like, dusk and dawn, if you're on the back roads, we literally have, like, kangaroos jump out in front of you. Don't ask me. They're like, ooh, headlights, boom. And those and wombats. If you look at wombats, they're these tiny things, but they're like this long. Look it up. They literally destroy your car and still walk away. You're like, oh, crap, my car. And this thing's just like, doo-doo-doo, see ya.
Aren't they the ones that poop in really funny shapes? Wombats.
I don't know. I haven't seen poop.
That's interesting that would be a detail you'd pick out, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
It's times like these when everyone is discussing all these horrible creatures that I'm really happy that I come from the UK. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, I was thinking about particular German animals that
they poop cubes.
But no, there aren't. Sorry.
They poop what?
They poop cubes.
They poop cubes? What the hell?
I'm like Googling it right now.
Wombats poop. All right, we all have to check this out. WOMBAT space DOOP.
Wasn't there like a TV show?
Out what autofills when I do a Google search? It immediately autofills wombat poop cube Y.
Why? I saw that.
Wombat
oh my God.
Cube Y. Okay.
Oh my God.
Well,
I mean, this is the guy that just like, oh my God, what the hell?
Cubic poop.
This thing here.
There's like this wombat on this IO. Are you looking at the IO9 article?
Yes.
There's this wombat just sort of giving the smile like, yeah, man, I do this. This is great. Like, I mean, you guys can't do this. I'm a wombat. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
So just to clarify for everyone, we are actually booktubers, not poo specialists.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, how we got from Harry Potter to this stage play to the spiders and the wombat poop. And will that be in the stage play? Then maybe I'm going to see it.
Wait, I'm fascinated by the fact that there's a person alive on this earth who actually took the time to build a model of a wombat's digestive tract and colon in order to demonstrate the cubic pooping technique. Like, someone did this.
Nothing,
a lot of effort.
nothing surprises me anymore after I went to the Oxford University Science Library, and there's like journals for the society dedicated to like pine cones or something.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's
but
serious.
there's enough people that study this. Like I've been doing my research for uni, and there are journal articles, many of them dedicated to rat whiskers and how they move in different patterns when rats are stoned.
That's really important work.
Yeah.
Someone has
It's
to
to do with robots.
We have someone else that's joined us, Mercedes.
Hey, Mercedes.
Hey.
She's just like, what have I just like put myself in?
She's like a wombat.
Yeah, you did a bad time.
It's not me. I'm not the Australian here.
You brought up wombats destroying cars.
Oh my gosh. Should we answer another question that's book related?
Oh, yes.
We're gonna have people be like, okay, what's the poop here? Yeah. There's one would the Silmarillion make a good TV show, and
No.
I don't know what that one is. Yeah.
Nope. It's Tolkien's like History of Middle Earth, one of his books.
No, that sounds boring.
You know all the boring bits in The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings? It's that, but big.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm a big Tolkien fan, and even I cannot get all the way through the Silmarillion. The Children of Hurin is about as deep as I have gone.
Even Tolkien didn't want it published in his lifetime. His editor.
No, he didn't.
Who would want to read this? I mean, it's like the Old Testament. Nobody would want to read it.
It was
basically like
for
a little
his
Bible
benefit.
for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I tried to read it when I was like 18 and 19, and my English wasn't that good at the time. I learned the word hearken, because this is like every 10th word is that somebody hearkened, and then all in between is just, oh, this is this and that guy, and he is called this and that by the elves, and by other elves he's known as this and that, and the dwarves call him, and I was like, what is going on? And I think I read like 100 pages over the course of like 5 days, and then I was like, I was on vacation on the pool, and I then dropped the book in the pool, and I think it's still there. So if you're ever going to France, to Arcachon, and there's a pool with a Silmarillion book at the bottom, that's mine.
It's probably been plucked up.
You're like, I don't even care anymore.
Yeah. No, but you're right. It's just like that Old Testament. Has someone, somebody, son of somebody, son of somebody, son of
Oh,
somebody.
yeah, someone begat someone.
Yeah.
They begat a lot.
Not interesting.
No. Don't recommend.
Another one?
Yeah.
How about what would you recommend as a first book for someone who hasn't read any sci-fi or fantasy before?
Mercedes can probably answer that one because she's fairly new.
What are you trying to say?
Nothing.
How old is the person? And how much have they read?
Yeah.
Because it's very different if you're starting reading sci-fi and fantasy when you're 14 than when you're 45.
Well,
That's true.
maybe do an age one. Maybe do a couple of recommendations then for
I think
different
it
ages.
depends what genre you enjoy. Like,
Yeah.
I enjoy literary fiction, and so George R. R. Martin and Rothfuss and Hobbes got me into fantasy. But if I'd have read other fantasy writers, then I'd have been like, I hate this and I don't want to read anymore. So I think it depends what you enjoy
I
in
agree.
every other genre, really. Which
I
isn't a
think
very
all
good
of those
answer.
are. I would say if you want something like really light and fun, then there's loads of series out there that are really light and fun, like Sword and Sorcery series are
Yeah.
really good sort of entry point.
Yeah, like
If you
Michael
want to
J.
go in
Sullivan.
straight, Michael J. Sullivan, Scott Lynch, all of those are quite just fun reads.
Yeah.
And Retribution Falls, so that series as well is really
Yeah.
fun. More steampunk, but definitely
Yeah.
The person is
great into
30.
like epic fantasy. That's a little bit more difficult.
If you sort of, so not easy peasy YA stuff, like.
Yeah, there's an
The
argument to
New
be
Lunar
made that it's
Chronicles.
easier to get new readers into fantasy probably than science fiction because fantasy uses more universal tropes.
Yeah.
And
I think for
agree.
sci-fi,
Science fiction kind of has its own language, and it's. But you're kind of new to sci-fi, Caitlin.
Ready Player One would be my recommendation.
What?
Ready Player One.
That's a good.
Yeah, that's nice and easy. And The Martian, they're like
Martian.
really
Yes.
good, fun.
Finished that.
I would
Yeah.
actually say Rick Yancey.
Yeah.
The Fifth
I was thinking
Wave,
that.
The Infinite Sea, yeah.
I haven't read
That's actually-
any as
Fifth
much
Wave
sci-fi.
is very YA though.
Yeah, I hated the fifth wave.
But if you want to start out, I guess, and sort of familiarize yourself with it, I reckon they would be best to start off that kind of direction.
Never tried any of this.
Yeah.
I think that John
The
Scholes
Martian.
is a very accessible
Oh,
read.
Skulls is an
Yeah, I was
excellent
thinking
place
that.
to start. Yeah.
Because I haven't read very much sci-fi, and Scalzi I really like
Yeah.
his stuff that I've read.
And if at Lock-In, even though I don't think it's his best book, I think that because it is one that straddles science fiction and perhaps other like mainstream.
Detective fiction.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like a sci-fi David
Thriller.
Baldacci novel almost, and
Yeah.
so I think it would have a lot of accessibility to someone who is not really that versed in the genre. You're not that sunk into it yet, and so it doesn't like force you to adopt this whole new way of thinking in your brain. It's like you wouldn't like oh, science fiction, you're brand new to it. Here's a bunch of William Gibson and Honey Russian. No,
but I would say if you're into really literary fiction, like weird, like writing and like unusual writing and stuff, then going into and showing people that something that is that like well written exists. So William Gibson, Joanna Russ, like something really just more weird, but definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. If you're already acclimated to that kind of writing, then
Yeah.
you can get
But if
those-
you want something that's just like a good fun read, then Scalzi.
yeah.
And also, if you're coming...
I think Wesley Chu might be an easier author to get into at the moment.
Oh, I read one of his and I was so not impressed.
The Life of Tao. I think also if we go back into more classical territory, Philip K. Dick, Do Androids Dream of
Electric Sheep.
Yeah, Electric Sheep. Yeah, I think that when I read it first, it was one of the first books I think I've read, even in German, for science fiction. But it was a good introduction at that point. I was older, 20 plus, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Stephen King, because you can't go wrong with him.
I hate Stephen King.
All right. But I would say Stephen King because there's so many options that he writes for, and he's got short story options too. So, I mean, if you don't want to delve straight into a full book, you've always got your short stories there too.
Yeah.
The only one I've ever read by Stephen King is the first one in the Dark Tower series, and I hated it and was like, yep, not reading any more Stephen King. But since then I've been told that that's very different to most of his stuff.
Yeah.
So
And the first Dark Tower book is not really held to be even the best.
yeah, that's what
Although
I've heard.
it has the most famous opening line of any of his books, and a very famous opening line generally, but that's not considered. King is a fantastic writer. Now, in terms of the stories he tells, that's a whole other matter. And I dislike more of his stories than I like them, but I always find him again an incredibly easy and pleasant read. I mean, his prose just flows. As a writer, he's very natural, and it just comes right out of him. But his stories.
I think he's fairly good at characters, like particularly like the small town character dynamic and just how people interact with one another.
Mm-hmm.
I love his short stories. Like I just read the Just After Sunset ones. There's like 13 short ones, and I love how there's like the thrilling versions and the very, I guess, ghostly sort of style. But then he's got some real things like people dealing with OCD and his own little twist, as well as like the 9/11 aftermath for him, his version, and his ghostly twist on that also, which was quite amazing. So I mean, those I definitely would recommend, like the short stories, just to get into some of his greater works, because I think he started off as a short story person anyway. So I think maybe just reading a few of the short stories will change your mind, Mercedes.
Yeah, I read The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, which I never hear anyone talk about. And I got to about halfway through, and without spoiling it, I just thought, just kill the girl. I hate the kid. I don't want her to survive. I was so bored. So I flicked to the end, and I found out what happened, and I thought, oh, this shit ended anyway. So I never bothered it anymore.
Has anybody read anything by his son? Because I know his son.
I've read The Lock and Key.
Yeah, I've read that. They're really good. Yeah.
Yeah. I read the first one, but I saw him talking at FantasyCon. He's really good at like stuff, and he's got a new book coming out called The Fireman, which they were giving out like samplers for, and it sounds really, really creepy. But I'm gonna read it because he was just selling it so well, and I do not read horror, but it sounded like it would be really interesting.
The only one I've read
bringing it back, sort of, we can segue baback into Harry Potter. The movie version of Horns is incredibly stupid, but Daniel Radcliffe is amazing in it.
I couldn't get through that film. I started watching it, and I was like, I can't take this seriously. I can't sit through this.
Legitimately terrible movie, but it's like his performance completely leaves Harry Potter in the rearview mirror. And it's like, all right, okay, yeah, you really are an actor now. So it's. But I haven't. I've read Horns, which again, book better. Still haven't. I've got Nosferatu and haven't started it. But I will say that Joe Hill wrote an incredibly brilliant short story that should not have been brilliant because it was gimmicky. It was all told in a series of tweets. But it's one of the best zombie short stories I've read because he makes the whole tweet gimmick work for what he does, and so that was fantastic. I thought, okay, that showed some ingenuity.
I was supposed to leave 20 minutes ago, so I should probably.
Are you leaving now? All right.
Thank you for coming.
Bye.
Bye.
I think maybe one general tip if you want to go into fantasy, science fiction, or speculative fiction at all, maybe is to try out different subgenres, because epic fantasy offers very different kind of entertainment than sword and sorcery does, and space opera offers another kind of entertainment than cyberpunk does. And I think if you really want to get into it, maybe try out different genres and try to find something then where you can say, okay, that is a subgenre I like and I can work from.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Should we answer some more questions if we've got a few more minutes left?
And I think as well, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet is one of the first science fiction I read. And
that is like my favorite sci-fi book ever.
Yeah. Finally got an email about that because it's been delayed, and the print version of that in the States isn't coming out until something like April. But
and it's really ugly, isn't it? As well.
Yeah.
But I finally got a thing saying, "Hey, would you like an ebook version?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, please." Everyone's screaming about it.
I think Hot Escape will send you one if you ask them. Like they've been sending.
Yeah, I've gotten some things from
They'll
Potter.
probably send it.
But I haven't kept up with them. I have gotten books from Potter before.
They're very nice.
They do lovely. I mean, they seem really dedicated to the whole. I mean, they put together these gorgeous packages for their arcs and everything. Everybody else just like padded mailer book shove here. It's like, no, look at this lovely presentation to get me excited about.
We've got a question that has like 3 likes here, which is, which film adaptation do you feel surpasses its book?
Blade Runner.
Lord of the Rings.
Controversial.
I've got to say, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. I reckon, the film had so much more emotion to it, and I love the way they didn't put it entirely in the child's perspective, because in the book it was just a constant. I didn't feel as much emotion towards the end of it as I did with the film. And
yeah, I agree,
Yeah, and the fact that he was like, okay, I think he was like 8 or 10 years old, and he was like, oh, she's really an annoying or hopeless case. He kept saying about his sister, and I'm like, okay, we get it. Your sister's a hopeless case. Let's move along. So it was kind of frustrating because, you shouldn't get frustrated in such an emotional book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a couple I can think of. One would be The Shawshank Redemption.
Yes, amazing film. Yeah.
But I think both movie and story are ones that I could poke a little bit of holes in. But I will say that the movie, at the very least, fixes a massive plot flaw at the end of the novella, and so that's a thumbs up. The other would be John Carpenter's The Thing, which takes all the good things from the original John W. Campbell short story and tosses out all the rest. Because the original short story, which came out 80 years ago, is very dated, very talky, but there's good stuff in it, and the movie just pares all that down and takes the good things and leaves the rest. So.
Yeah, I think Let the Right One In as well. That was a I think Swedish horror book about vampires.
Oh right.
And I saw the film first, so I'm probably going to enjoy the film more. But the film's amazing. The book's good, but the film's like it's like really good, really creepy. It's a bit gory, but it's very good. The book is too, but.
I think I'm adding
Hard
too many more
was a book,
things.
wasn't it? And Die Hard is the best movie ever, so how can the book be better than that?
And Alan
basically goes
Rickman.
for all movie to book adaptations. When I was younger, there were like I wasn't allowed, of course, to see like this 16+ movies, but I was always allowed to read the books. So I read a lot of really crappy books that were movies before, and all of them. I really, if somebody remembers that from the 80s or early 90s, there was a movie with Sylvester Stallone, Over the Top, about like arm wrestling, and I read the book. I think I'm the only person on the planet that read the book, and I never actually seen the movie, but the movie is definitely better than the book.
Okay, when you talk about a movie about arm wrestling, the most interesting cinematic topic ever.
I think it's almost better than like walking past a bunch of trees. Who will win?
Oh my god. I can't think of any. I prefer the Lord of the Rings books to the movies, and I prefer the Harry Potter books. But I'm trying to think of other. I don't really want to say Pride and Prejudice because I also like the books. I can't think of any that I like better than the book.
I think the Harry Potter movies are an interesting case study because I think you see the movie series vastly improves in quality as it goes along.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first two films were made by Christopher Columbus and Chris Columbus, and I mean, he would have been my thought of for a director for like a big sort of epic fantasy spectacle. But what you see in the first two movies, I think the first two movies are the least good of them all because I think that there is perhaps too much of we've really got to be hyper faithful to the source material here. And they're so slavish in trying to get it all down that the movies can kind of sputter along at times. And I think it took until the third one where they brought in Alfonso Cuarón to do Azkaban.
The third one is my favorite.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And then it suddenly just, as a movie, it just popped, right? And then it was a very cinematic experience. And then I think also with, I think, is it David Yates or Peter Yates with like the last 3 or 4 movies were really, really strong. So that's an interesting case of like trying to find that balance in movie adaptations between, the fans want us to be faithful, but we've got to make this really work as a film as well.
Well, and also some of the kids learn to act, which
that's
an important detail.
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, you can also certainly see that.
Yeah, I think they tried a bit too hard, especially with the whole trying to get Hermione's hair completely bushy. And, I think they had her try to put on like fake teeth or something, and I don't think she could talk in them, so they couldn't do that. And I think they just really, really tried because it was such a popular book, and I think that was just a learning curve. I mean, they're not exactly bad movies, but you could tell that it was a learning curve.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think the third one was definitely my favorite, and I think my least favorite was the fourth one. Just everything about the fourth one. See, the fourth one's my least favorite.
Oh, no, I love the fourth.
Fair.
I still haven't seen the 7th movie.
The 7th or the 8th movie?
7th. Weirdly, I saw part 2, but never saw part 1.
Oh my god.
That's the important part. It's part 2.
Yeah. Last part.
I mean, it's not like I don't know what happened, so.
Yeah, true.
Well, definitely part 2 of the two-parter was the better film.
Yeah, I mean, they go camping in the first part. It's kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I can see you camping.
Yeah.
I know, I was like, how are they going to do that?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm going to say sometimes, you know, the whole being faithful to the source material thing is not the key to making a good movie from a literary source.
Yeah.
And we have Blade Runner to prove that. And,
well, like Game of Thrones as well has changed, hasn't it, for the TV show? That's not faithful anymore, really. That's definitely going away
That is
from
a
the
good thing.
And you can look at also The Shining, too. I mean, Stephen King hated Kubrick's version of The Shining because he changed so much and he altered so much. But then many years later, Stephen King himself produced like a 2-part TV miniseries.
Yeah, the one with Weber, right? The guy from Wings.
And it's like laughably bad. It's super faithful to the book, but it's just, you sit there and you're like, you actually CG the hedge animals. You actually did that. I haven't been drinking. You have actually CG'd the hedge animals. Yes.
That's the worst. But I've seen like
yeah.
I saw his what was it? The Stand. That one was pretty good. I think that was a 4-parter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've seen that one.
They're trying to reboot that. There's been an attempt to remake It, which is fallen by the wayside. They can't get that together.
Oh, it creeped me out as a kid. That movie. I watched it when I was like 12.
Loved it. Why would they remake that?
I don't know.
They just try to remake everything, and it's like, are you kidding me?
It's like the original.
Yeah.
Just let it go. Make something else.
It's pre-sold, properties. It's like you want to have something. If audiences are already familiar with it, that's presumably less risk, right?
Yeah.
From the production.
Yeah, but when has a remake of a remake been like really good?
Yeah.
They've all pretty much like
fun.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
That remake was quite good.
But that's a TV show, right?
That's a TV show.
Yeah.
The classic Maltese Falcon with Humphrey Bogart, that was like the 3rd version of that.
Casino Royale, that was a remake.
Casino Royale, yeah.
There was also the Shop Around the Corner, and then
You've Got Mail,
and then You've Got Mail. Those are all remakes of the same movie of Shop Around the Corner, and I like all of them. I mean,
but Pride and Prejudice, that was just horrible. Like
which
one?
The 2005 with Keira Knightley. I
love that one.
I didn't mind that one.
Was like, just her as Lizzie Bennet was just not right because she's meant to be voluptuous and curvy, and Keira Knightley is not. And
my favorite Pride and Prejudice is the Colin Firth, but there is one that was done in the 80s, I think, that is atrocious. Yeah. It is the worst version I have ever seen.
Right.
So bad.
I can't even watch the Sense and Sensibility TV show now, like the newish one, because the guy that plays Colonel Brandon is actually the governor in Walking Dead, and oh my goodness.
Yes.
Every time I watch it, I'm like, I just can't.
See, I associate him with Doctor Who because he was in the Next Doctor Christmas special.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they are, the movie of Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is coming.
Yes.
I'm going to read the book. I've got the book this month. I'm actually starting it hopefully today.
I meant to start it and I forgot, so...
Yeah, and I'm just waiting that Sam is going to read it and tell me if it's readable for someone who hasn't read Pride and Prejudice.
I'm in the same boat, I haven't read it either.
I want someone to write the sequel to Pride and Prejudice like it was suggested on Tumblr. To Pride, to Prejudice.
I think it has been done.
Death Comes to Pemberley.
No, actually. I want it to be like Too Fast, Too Furious.
Awesome.
I'm surprised someone actually hasn't done that. Like they did Jane Austen's Fight Club.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Jane Austen's Fight Club, find that.
Oh
it will enhance your life.
But they could totally do it. It could be an excellent YouTube series, actually. To Pride, to Prejudice.
You heard it here first, folks.
Oh my god. Everything comes from Tumblr.
Of course.
Yeah. I feel so old because I cannot figure Tumblr out. I've just given up. I don't even.
I don't even.
You don't need to figure it out. It's like
I don't
Twitter,
have it.
but with silly pictures.
Yeah. I've just linked everything to my Instagram, and I just press Tumblr, and it links it for me. I'm done.
Tumblr
I
is
think that's what Tumblr is for.
wardrobe, and you fall through the back, and then you're never ever coming out ever.
Tumblrs are that's where people share cute animated GIFs that they find.
And also blogging. They do a lot of blogging on.
You have seen blogs on there.
Yeah.
Yes, some people use it for proper blogging.
Which I
is
thought
good.
about, and then I went on there and I was like, yeah, no, I can't. I don't get it.
Should we try another question?
Sure.
There is actually a Tumblr-related one.
Yeah.
There we go.
If you could recommend a free site to have a blog, what would you recommend? I'm tempted to revamp my Tumblr and turn it into a book blog. That assumes that you know what Tumblr is and how it works, so yeah.
No idea.
I mean, it's a good idea, yeah, book blogging.
As we are all booktubers, YouTube.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, YouTube is definitely a good way to start. I mean, I started off with no confidence at all, and like everybody else, but I found that my confidence has grown a lot more since I started a Booktube channel this year, and I definitely recommend it. And if writing is more your thing to do rather than speaking into a video camera, then I mean, Tumblr is the best option for now, or even like I guess Instagram, or there was other ones that I can't even think of now because, well, that's just me. I just have no memory. My mind's like a sieve. It's too early.
How much control you want over your content and how much you're going to write. If you're going to do beautiful pictures of books with a little bit of text about what you like and stuff, Instagram or Tumblr. If you're going to do a moderate amount of text and you don't really care about control, you just want to get it up there and fast and reblog and talk to a lot of people and post lots of pictures and have other content, Tumblr. If you want infinite control and like the ability to upgrade it later very conveniently, WordPress.
Yeah, I've heard WordPress.
Blogspot,
Blogspot is like WordPress, but yeah, with less control over advertising.
Right. Seen a lot of been a handful of book bloggers lately. Some high-profile ones have throwing in the towel. Kind of getting tired of it. They say the audience isn't there. The ones who are doing it for ad clicks or ad impressions and revenue, they're saying that's not really there anymore. So I guess if you're gonna do it, you have to maybe just not care about that. I mean, I've certainly found
the
a degree.
intention of making money.
Yeah, I've certainly found the reach that I've gotten and the interaction that I've gotten, and the meeting other people in the community thing with Booktube has just been at a whole level beyond. When I was just doing it on the web, which I've been doing for like over a decade, but YouTube has just blown it out so much more. And, just much more worth it, I think. If that's what you kind of relish, if you want interaction, if you want to, and greater reach, but it's a lot of work too. It's certainly much more work than just writing a blog.
Yeah.
So you won't be prepared for that, and if you're prepared to, and if you want to build an audience, then you've got to kind of be dedicated to it and doing some regular stuff. So you really need to be ready, and you need to be thinking about that if you really want to put in the work.
Yeah.
So if you are, then great.
And good luck, whatever you end up doing.
Let us know.
But do it because you love it. Do it because
Yeah, definitely do it because you love it.
Must be a love happening.
Gotta have we've got
and that's the whole point of it. Is it's about the passion, not the number of likes or the number of followers, which is a lot of mistakes a lot of people do make. Do it because it's something you want to do. If only 10 people have seen it, so be it. 10 people more that weren't there to read your writing, 10 more people that you could have been inspiring rather than like 50. And that's something that you should be doing it for, not because, it's like everyone's glamorizing everything like that. Like, ooh, let's be famous and go on YouTube. No, it's not about that. It's about sharing your passion with people that are the same as you, and whether you've got 100 or thousands of followers, it shouldn't ever matter with the number.
Or like Samantha, you've got 8,000, which is over here.
Yeah, it's not something I ever expected. I just liked, I've always liked reading, so it was an outlet that I got brave enough to attempt. Which, if you go back and watch like my first video, which I don't recommend because it's horrifyingly awkward.
So is mine.
For shy. I'm like
Everyone's.
Everyone's is terrible.
We should all do like a truth or dare at some point thing where we all like go our first videos.
Mine's on my channel.
Mine is still public. Yeah.
People can see mine. They're still up there.
Mine too. I have no shame.
It's out there. It's out there.
I've watched Mercedes. It's worth watching.
Yeah, I've watched yours as well. I had a great laugh.
It's great though. You can see how far you can see how far you've come, and that's like a huge achievement. So, I mean, as much as it once, you want to cringe from it, it's a huge step. You did something that not a lot of people can do, and you've inspired 8,000 people to also do the same thing. And thanks to you, now we've spent more money than we wanted on a lot more books. So thank you. I'm going to be sending you the bill.
My email address is different. I don't know what you're
there was a question here that has been here for quite a while, which is a question that would be good for all of you, which is, which other fantasy writer is most like Robin Hobb?
J.B. Jones.
Rothfuss, I think.
Yeah, I think Rothfuss. And George R.R. Martin.
But no one else has read J.B. Jones but me.
No, I haven't.
Everybody's like,
J.B. Jones.
That's good. You're introducing that.
I think J.V. Jones is. I think also. I think Robin Hobb fans might like, depending on what you pick up, because there's so much of it. Mercedes Lackey.
Yeah, I could see that. I've read Mercedes Lackey.
C.J. Cherry has veered into epic fantasy on occasion, and some people prefer that to her space operas. So you could check out some of her fantasies. But I would say a few. Again, look around, because everyone you'll find information. If you're curious about something, just give it a try. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Maybe you're out a few bucks if you just buy a secondhand paperback or something.
Yeah.
Because many times, back especially with older material, I'll just do a cover buy on something. It piques my interest, and when it turns out to be something really good, I'm like, well, great. I would not have discovered that author otherwise.
Yeah.
I think Lois McMaster Bujold might be somebody to pick up when you like Robin Hobb. Maybe Guy Gavriel Kay.
Yeah, I want to read.
Guy Gavriel Kay is
Tagana's really good.
New book in February, I think. So very excited about that. No, but he's wonderful. His historical fantasies approach. But yeah, Lois McMaster Bujold, Curse of Chalion. If you like George R.R. Martin in his less violent, nasty.
I thought of a good one for good fantasy.
The Goblin
Emperor. Yeah.
No.
Mercedes and I would like to differ on that.
Oh dear. It was okay. It was okay.
It's alright.
Yeah.
I think I just don't like courtroom dramas.
Courtroom?
Well, like political stuff. You know what I mean? Well, no, I don't mind political stuff, but I don't want to hear about all the different levels of royalty. Like even if it's not fantasy, even if it's based in historical stuff, I just don't care.
All the Assassin's Apprentice is all about royalty and aristocracy and.
Yeah, but it's not as many names that are supposed to be elvish and really long.
I would also
not as many of them.
I would also say Sherwood Smith, but I think you'd run into the name thing again because her.
Sherwood Smith is good though. I like her stories so far. I've only read the first, but I'm going to read the next few.
Fox is even better.
And then there's this.
Jonathan Strange.
Yes.
I still need to finish it. I got about third through, and I was intending to finish it in November, so hopefully.
Wow.
So many books,
This
so
has
little
been
time.
going on for over an hour and a half now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to wrap up. I have some things I need to do.
Let's see.
But it's been really fun. Thank you, Samantha, for
Thank you for hosting.
Thank you for hosting this. This was
fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
It
for
was
joining
really
in.
fun.
Yeah, sorry we couldn't get to all the
sometime.
questions. Yeah, I mean, we had a few questions there that we didn't get to, or a couple, but...
I think we answered quite a lot, though. So.
Yeah.
We did, yeah, that's right. So,
We'll have to do it again soon.
Definitely. This has been fun.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye.
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 Bye.